Okay, well, let's get started. We might still have some people trickling in as we go, but welcome to our Grow with GoGo functional fitness class. So before we get moving, just a reminder of what you can do with GoGo. So in addition to these classes, you can use GoGo to get rides, meals, groceries, medication delivery, and home services. And home services being things that you need to have done around the house that are maybe a little bit tricky, like doing something up high on the ceiling or like changing your alarm or changing a light bulbs, shoveling snow, just house things. And you can access all of this with one phone number, and that phone number is 855-464-6872. Also a reminder, we have a Facebook group. So if you ever want to continue your conversations that we have here online, you can go to our Facebook group. You can share photos or just chat with other people there so that you can feel more connected to our GoGo community. And we'll have a link in the chat as well so that you can find us easily. So if we have not met, I'm Adra. I teach the yoga and functional fitness class. I'm a yoga teacher, movement teacher, and occupational therapist. So before we get moving and before we gather all of our supplies, anyone who was at functional fitness last time, so not last week was yoga, but the week before, does anyone remember what the move of the week was? Oh, Bertha, yes.
Standing on one foot.
Woo! Wow, good job. Good job. And did you do any of that? Did you do any standing on one foot?
A little, but also in walking, I'm more aware of distribution of the weight on the foot as I walk and balancing with each step.
That's awesome, Bertha. I love that because it's true. We stand on one foot all the time when we're walking. It's just for a millisecond. And I'm glad that you're starting to notice the distribution of weight on your foot. That's really cool.
I've tried walking slower also.
I love that. And being more, as we move more slowly, we can be more mindful of what we're feeling, what we're experiencing. It becomes almost a meditation. Awesome. Great. Well, that was fast. Sometimes it takes us a while. So today, that you need is a chair or a couch or a bench, something that you can sit on. We don't sit for very long in this class. It's usually for maybe a few minutes or sometimes not at all, and we use the chair in another way. You can also use space on a wall for balance support. You could also use your chair for balance support. And then I'm using a pair of light dumbbells. 1 to 3 pounds is great. Or if you don't have that, you could grab some water bottles, you could grab some cans. You also could grab nothing at all and just move those arms, move those legs without the weights, and you'll still get a workout. And with that, we'll stop sharing. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make an announcement now, and then I'm going to make the announcement again at the end. Today, you're going to get an email about potential different times for class. So please have a look and answer the email because we're just trying to figure out the best time for classes. And so if you answer it, then what you want is going to be taken into consideration. I'll remind you at the end as well that we're doing that. Okay, so let's get moving. If you don't see me as your big screen, you go to the top right-hand corner of your computer and there's this sort of square that says view. And you can change the view to speaker mode or speaker view. Or if you want to see other people's videos, you can keep it as gallery view. All right, so I'm going to back up, move some things. Adjust my computer slightly. There we go. All right, so let's stand nice and tall, planting those feet down. Let's do a couple shoulder rolls back. And a couple shoulder rolls forward. And then let's inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling, reaching tall. And exhale, lower the hands back down. Arms rest alongside the body. Inhale, arms circle out to the side and up towards the sky. And exhale, hands lower back down. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Let those arms rest alongside the body. And let's take those feet about as wide as your shoulders or slightly wider. Toes can point forward or slightly out to the side, whatever is more comfortable. We're going to move into some squats. So we'll inhale, bend those knees, reach those arms forward, hips go back. I'm just turning sideways so you can see. And then exhale, straighten the legs, lower the arms. We inhale, bend the knees, hips go back, arms come forward, and exhale as you rise. So keep going here at your own pace. You can go as low as you want. So it's up to you whether you make this a small squat or a big, deep squat. We're just warming up those legs, warming up the arms, warming up the core. Let's do 3 more. Last one. And next time you're standing, go ahead and pause, heel toe those feet back towards each other and shake it off. We're going to inhale, open up the arms and lift your chest. We're just going to stretch the body a little bit here to warm ourselves up. So we're stretching the front of the body, chest lifts, arms open, and then exhale, round your back and give yourself a hug. Wrap your arms around your shoulders, tuck your tail, drop your chin, stretching your back body. We inhale, open up the front of the body, reach those arms out to the side and back, lift the chest, tail goes behind you. And then exhale, tuck your tail, drop your chin, round your back. Couple more times at your own pace. And then let's go ahead and come back to center, release the arms. And let's begin to bend side to side. Keep going. I'm just gonna see if we can pin my video because I think it keeps popping out. Keep going. Keep doing your side bending. Few more times, side to side. Feel the side body stretch. All right, and then let's come to center. Let's bring the fingertips to the shoulders and bend those knees. Knees stay tracking forward, toes stay tracking forward. Let's rotate the spine. So knees stay forward. Upper body twists. All right, and coming back to center, release those arms. We're gonna take a seat and do a little bit of core work seated. So finding your chair. I'm facing sideways just so that you can see. You do not need to face sideways. You can just face your computer or your screen. Go ahead and scoot yourself forward towards the front edge of your chair. So you have plenty of room between your back and the back rest. Crossing those arms in front of the body, so just creating an X with those arms or giving yourself a hug. We'll inhale, lean back towards your backrest. You may or may not touch the backrest. And then exhale, sit up. Sort of like a crunch. We inhale, lean back. Exhale, sit up. Keep going at your own pace here. Two or three more times, feeling that core. And next time you're sitting tall, we'll go ahead and pause. Relax the arms. We're going to go into the legs. Let's start with just a few heel lifts here. So toes stay down, but we'll alternate lifting one heel and then the other. This will come back later, so we're just really warming up those ankles. And then let's start to transition from the heel lifts into some marching. So alternate lifting the entire foot off the ground. So knee comes up. See if your torso can stay still here as you start to march and wake up those legs. Feel free to continue with the marching, or if it feels okay, we're going to add a kick to our march. So the knee is going to lift. We're going to kick the leg forward, bend the knee, lower the foot. Knee lifts, we kick, we bend, and lower. So continue here at your own pace, adding that bit of a kick so you feel those quad muscles. You might also feel a stretch in the back of your legs. Totally normal. Maybe one or two more on each side, depending on your speed. Great, and then letting that go. All right, so without thinking about it too much, go ahead and just stand up. And then notice how you did that. How did you get up out of your chair? Now we're gonna make it an exercise. We're gonna try and use the least amount of energy possible to get in and out of the chair, but completely using the legs. So go ahead and have a seat. Just notice how you do that. And then we're going to try and make this so that your legs don't have to do too much work, but that you definitely don't have to use your arms. Of course, if it's not safe for you to do this without your arms, please use your arms. But if it feels okay, go ahead and we're going to play with where our feet are. So notice if you scoot your feet really far forward, if you let those feet go ahead of those knees, so you see how my ankles are sort of forward, I have a really wide angle. It's nearly impossible to get out of the chair. So you can give that a feel, give that a try. And then scooch those ankles back so that they're directly under the knees. This is still going to be pretty hard to get out of the chair. It's possible when those ankles are directly under the knees, but it's still pretty hard. And just give that a try. Notice, how does that feel? Yes, it's maybe possible for some of us, but it's still pretty hard. And then scooch now your feet a little bit further back. So we have a more narrow angle here. The bend of the knees is more acute. So the ankles are behind the knees. And from there, let your torso come forward. So as you let your head or your nose go over your toes, it unweights your bum and makes it easier to come up. And same thing when you come down. Can you be efficient about how you come down? Can you bend not only at the knees, but also at the hips? So it's not the spine that's moving, but it's that pelvis rolling over your thigh bones to allow you to come back down to sit really nice and efficiently. So play with that a few times. And if that doesn't feel great, maybe you need to move where your feet are. Maybe you need to shift your torso. But see if you can play with how far forward can I lean to unweight my hips? And can I allow those heels or those ankles to be behind the knees or closer to the chair than the knees to make this a little bit easier. We're just gonna get up and down a few more times. All right, so in a moment, we're gonna do some seated back exercises with our weights and arm exercises with the weights. So if you need to go ahead and grab those weights, go ahead and do that now. And then have a seat with your weights. We'll revisit that squatting up and in and out of the chair in a few minutes, but we'll come back to our weights now. All right, so sitting in our chair, we're going to lean forward. Arms are going to come down and rest alongside the body. We're going to do a rows with tricep kickbacks. So I'll talk you through all of it. You decide how far forward you lean. You could even rest your torso on your thighs, but that would mean that you have that flexibility to do that. If that's not possible, your torso is partially upright, and that's fine. We bend the elbows. Elbows go up towards the ceiling. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and then straighten those arms back behind you. So the arms are coming almost parallel to the earth. And then we bend the elbows again and lower the hands down towards the ground. We're going to do this standing later, but we're doing a seated version first. So we bend the elbows, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Then we straighten the arms back behind us and bend the elbows and lower the hands back down. Couple more times. Well, more than a couple. Probably 8 more times. Nice, smooth breaths as you do this. And then go ahead and let that go. Sitting nice and tall. All right, you're going to keep holding on to your weights if you have your weights. And we're going to come to stand. So again, maybe noticing, can you do this stand efficiently, even though you're holding weights? Letting those heels go slightly back behind the knees. Let your torso come forward as you rest. Great. All right. So now we've done narrow squats. We've done squats with the chair. We're now going to do wide squats or sumo squats. So your feet are going to go wider than your shoulders and the toes are going to point out to the side. You can keep holding on to your weights. If they're too much, get rid of them. I like to take the weights in front of the chest and let the weights rest on each other. But it's up to you what feels comfortable for your body. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees, lower down as you inhale. It's up to you how low you go. And exhale, push down into the feet to rise. Inhale as you bend. Exhale as you straighten. Keep going. Follow your breath. A few more times, almost there. And go ahead and release. Bring those legs back towards each other. Shake it off. Let's just go into some traditional bicep curls now. So palms face forward. We bend the elbows, hands comes towards the shoulders, and then we lower the arms back down. And we just bend and straighten those arms. Try and keep the elbows relatively still. So yes, we're bending and straightening the elbows, but the arms are not swinging. So this is what we're not doing. So this is what we're not doing. We're trying to keep it still like this so the elbows don't move. It's just that forearm or the lower half of the arm that's doing the movement. Couple more. And then releasing, shake it off. And we're going back to those wide squats or sumo squats. So legs go wide, feet are a little wider than those shoulders, toes point out, heels are in. Weights can be wherever is comfortable. We bend the knees, lower the body down towards the earth. It's up to you how low you go. It doesn't need to be big. And then exhale, push the feet into the earth to rise. So inhale as you lower. Exhale as you lift. Keep going. Next time your legs are straight, we'll go ahead and pause, heel toe those feet back towards each other. Back to those bicep curls, palms face forward, elbows stay still. We bend and straighten those elbows. It's just the lower arm moving. The upper arm and shoulders stay still. And then let those arms go. We're going to stand in front of our chair. We're going to go into those chair squats, but maybe with only barely touching the chair. So as you go down, you might just graze your hips against the chair and then come back up. So do begin pretty close to the chair just for safety. Thinking about those nice mechanics where you let your torso come forward, let those knees come forward. So nice hinge, just touch the chair. So maybe the thighs or the hips touch the chair and then rise once again. So we bend those knees. What's nice about the chair is it shows you how deep you can go. And so if you're finding that you can't get that low without plopping into the chair, maybe you stack some books on your chair to find what height can you go to with control, right? And you start working on doing your squats to that depth or to that height with control. And once that starts to feel easy, you can remove one of the books and then you go a little bit lower. So allowing your torso to hinge forward for these chair squats. We're thinking about efficiency here. So letting that torso come forward allows a counterbalance of the weight of your hips. Just a few more. And then pausing next time you're standing tall. We're going into those rows with the tricep kickback that we did in seated, except for this time, we're going to do one arm at a time, and we're gonna do it standing. So putting one of your weights down, go ahead and grab the other. I'm gonna start with the right arm. So grabbing the weight with the right arm, if that feels okay. Left foot's gonna step forward, right foot's going to step back. My feet are anywhere between 1 to 2 feet apart. It's not big. Bend your front knee and lean forward. I'm gonna adjust so that you can see. My left hand is resting on my left thigh. That allows my torso to come forward. From here, right arm is dangling near that left leg. Back behind us, arm comes parallel-ish to the earth, and then we bend the elbow and lower the hand down towards the earth. Let's bend, squeeze that right shoulder towards the spine, and straighten the right arm back behind you, then bend, and straighten the arm down towards the ground. Keep going. One or two more here. And then as you're ready, lift your torso up. Step forward, back foot meets the front. We switch hands, so weight goes into your other hand. Left foot steps back. Right foot is forward, front knee bends. Right hand comes to your right thigh for support. Then we bend that left elbow, left shoulder squeezes towards the spine, and then straighten the left arm. Arm comes parallel-ish to the earth. We rebend the elbow and then lower the hand towards the ground. And the elbow, squeeze the shoulder, straighten the arm, and bend and lower. Keep going. One or two more. And then let that go, lift yourself up and step forward. Put the weights down, and we're gonna do some heel raises. Helpful to stand behind something with support. So you can have your hands on your chair, you could also go to your wall or a table. So fingers have something to hold on to. Let's first start with our feet about shoulder width apart, so slightly wider. We're gonna go with a slightly wider stance. Toes point forward, let's lift those heels up and then lower the heels down. If this feels easy, maybe you hold on with just one finger, right? That challenges your balance in addition to those calves, or maybe you don't hold on at all. So notice how this feels, how your weight distributes itself when you're in this wider stance. And the next time your heels are down, go ahead and pause. And now we'll take the feet together. Bring them as close as you possibly can. So that may be that those feet are touching, or maybe they're just a few inches apart. Holding onto your support if you'd like. Lift up onto those tippy toes. Heels come up and back down. Again, feeling free to let go of your support if you have the balance and if that feels comfortable for your body. Hopefully you're feeling those muscles working. Couple more. And then pause next time those heels are down. Let's stretch out those calves. We step the right leg back, maybe 2 feet back, and then bend your front knee. That right heel's reaching down towards the ground, just giving your calf a nice stretch. So you should feel this in the back of the back leg. And go ahead and step forward and we'll switch legs. So left foot steps back now. Front knee bends, back leg is straight, back heel reaches towards the earth. All right, and stepping forward. We're gonna now work the upper part of the back leg. So hamstrings. So we just worked our calves, now we're gonna work our hamstrings. You're gonna keep holding onto your chair. And before we go into the hamstrings, I want you for a moment to bend those knees a little bit and see if you can tuck and untuck your tail. So as I tuck my tail, the pubic bone moves towards the belly button. As I untuck, the tail reaches towards the wall behind me. See if you can tuck and untuck your tail a few times without moving your rib cage. So you're seeing, can you isolate the movement of your pelvis? Because that's going to be important for this next exercise. So just see, does it move? If it doesn't, that's okay. Interesting, something to note. And then go ahead and let that go. Let your pelvis be in a comfortable position and straighten out the legs. As you hold on to your chair, we're going to begin to bend the left knee, bringing the left foot behind you. We're going towards about a 90-degree bend. Now, as you go there, watch that the knees stay next to each other. So what tends to happen here to avoid hamstring work is the knee likes to creep forward. See if you can keep that left knee right next to the right knee. And then see if you can tuck your tail. So you're going to drop that tail between the legs, and the pubic bone is going to pull towards the belly button. So tail drops between the legs, pubic bone pulls towards the belly button, and at the same time, the heel pulls towards the glutes. There, we're looking for some sensation in the back of that bending leg. Go ahead and release that left foot, and we'll switch sides. Bending the right knee. So again, noticing our knees right next to each other. They should be right next to each other. Don't let that right knee creep forward. Also, we're dropping the tail. So you're tucking the tail, pubic bone moves towards the belly button. That will get those hamstrings to work even more as you start to try and reach that heel closer to your glutes. Few breaths. And release. Let's do that again on the left side, bending the left knee, tucking the tail, keeping the knees next to each other. It's up to you how far you bend. Watch that you're not moving your spine. This is a lower body exercise. Try not to let it migrate into the upper body. So sometimes we try and cheat our way out of positions or movements because they feel unfamiliar or challenging. So see if you can keep the ribs still. What sometimes happens is this sort of back bending to move out of the pose. Keep dropping your tail. One more breath here. And release. Other side. Bend the right knee. Knees stay next to each other. Tail tucks under. Upper body stays still. We're feeling those muscles in the back of the bending knee. And release. Shake it off. Okay, we're going back to heel raises, but with a variation. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my feet, but you do not need to move. You're going to still hold on to your chair or your table, so in front of you. Feet are going to go wide, so they're about as wide as the shoulders, and the toes are pointing out. We're going to lift up onto the tippy toes and back down. So what we had done earlier was toes were facing forward and we went up and down. Now, toes are facing out to the side and we're doing our heel raises. It's just different. Notice how that weight distributes itself on the feet. And then let those heels come down. And now we take our heels together, toes apart. So you're gonna bring those heels to touch and you're gonna create kind of a pie slice or a pizza slice or a V position with your feet. Your heels can spread apart as you rise. You keep holding onto your chair in front of you if that's comfortable. You lift up onto those tippy toes and then back down. Keep going. Two or three more. And release, shake it off. Okay, we're going back to those knee bends one last time. Now standing tall, letting your tail drop a little bit here so the pubic bone pulls towards the belly button. Stand on the right leg, bend the left knee. Knees stay next to each other. Continue to bend as much as you can as you continue to drop the tail and keep the knees lined up. Then release the left leg and we switch. Stand on the left, bend the right. Right knee stays directly next to the left. Pubic bone towards the belly button, tail towards the earth as you bend that right knee. And release. One more each side. Stand on the right, bend the left. Feel the muscles in the back of the leg. Release and switch. Stand on the left, bend the right. And release. Hands stay on your chair. We're going to stretch it out. Walk those feet back. Bring your torso parallel-ish to the earth and your hips directly over your ankles. If this is not comfortable, torso can come higher. You can also be closer to your chair and bring your forearms to your chair. We're just looking for a stretch here in a couple of places. So our primary goal is to feel the stretch in the backs of the legs. But if your arms are extended in front of you, you'll probably also feel a stretch along the sides of the arms and the side of the body. Go ahead and lift your torso. Pull yourself back up. And we're going to go into our move of the week. We've done it many, many times. We're going to do it again to remind you. It's coming in and out of a chair. So removing any weights if they're in your way. Stand yourself in front of your chair or your bench or your couch. You're going to come down to sit and then come back up to stand. And just start to notice how you do it. Have you found that slightly more efficient way? And so throughout the week, until I see you next for functional fitness, I want you to think about, pay attention how you get in and out of chairs. There's no right or wrong, but maybe having that awareness. Maybe you have a tendency to have one foot in front of the other as you come up. Nothing wrong with that. That's interesting. In fact, you're welcome to try that, see what that feels like. Maybe you have a tendency to use your arms with your armrests to come in and out of a chair. Also, nothing wrong with that. But start to pay attention to how you do it and if you can vary how you do it. So changing things up. There's really no right or wrong way of doing things, but there are lots of ways to do things. So thinking about all the different ways you might be able to get in and out of a chair. Maybe there's a twist happening. Hands could go to your armrest or to your chair, and you can push yourself off to one side. That's interesting. So having an awareness of what you usually do, and then are there ways to change it up? All right, next time you're standing, we'll go ahead and stay standing. Pause for a moment, just notice how your body feels. Let's inhale, circle the arms out to the side, up towards the ceiling. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, hands lower back down. Two more. Inhale, arms circle out and up. Exhale, back down. Last time. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, lower it down and give yourself a hand. Nice work, everyone. Great job. So nice working out with you. So, move of the week, just thinking about how you get in and out of chairs. So it's sort of squats, but squats in your chair, because I'm sure you do that at least once a day, if not 10, 20, 30 times a day. And again, look out in your email for a survey about what times you might like to have class. There are just a few other times that we're potentially offering, right? There's no promises, but we want to know what works for you. So respond to that message. That would be great. And next week is yoga. If you have any questions, comments, now's a great time to ask. So I'm available. You can either put it in the chat or unmute yourself.
That was a great workout.
Thanks. Was that Marilyn?
Yes. Fantastic.
Awesome. Great to have you here.
Oh gosh, I have MS, and so the legs are what I'm battling all the time, and that was a good workout. Thank you.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I'm glad you're working out. And of course, you can always take breaks if at any point it feels like, ooh, that's a bit much today. And Karen, I see you in the chat. Nice working out with everyone. That's great. Glad you could join us, Karen.
Yeah, it was nice.
Let's see. I didn't see who said that, but
It was me, Karen.
oh, Karen. Oh, yes. You've got a nice photo of the Earth there.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not in the screen. It was me.
That's okay. You don't need to be in the screen. I like to know where there's so many photos, so many videos going at the same time that I like to know where the voices are coming from. Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome.
So
thank
the
you.
next week is the yoga. Is it chair yoga?
Yes. So next week is chair yoga. Yoga's almost, it's the reverse in terms of sitting and standing. So this class, we sit a little tiny bit sometimes. That class, we sit almost the entire time with usually a couple minutes of standing.
I've never done yoga. I've done Tai Chi, but not yoga.
Well, come check it out.
I will.
And thanks, Maureen, for your message here. I think we all inspire each other. All showing up really helps. Doing this alone is really hard, but when we're in a big group, it's really nice. Oh yeah, and if you want to see everybody now, you can go to your top right-hand corner of your screen and pick gallery view, and you'll see a few other videos. People are popping off as needed, but if you want to see other people's faces.
Oh, there we all are.
Okay, so move of the week. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. getting in and out of a chair. I've now created a spot where I'll show everyone, where I can write down our move of the week. So fitness, sit to stand, out of chair.
Adra,
Yeah.
I think the advanced course should be sitting and standing out of a toilet. They're lower.
Lower. You are so right. It is lower and harder.
Oh, I have a chair height in both bathrooms.
Yeah, so you can get risers for those toilet seats if needed. But it's extra challenge to figure out how to get down and up safely when it's low. Couches are the same. Couches are usually really, really low. And so that's an advanced technique also. Good point, Bertha.
And another course would be in and out of a car.
Yep. In and out of the car is tricky. What do you find challenging about that, Bertha?
Well, it depends on the height of the seat in the car. I have to assess that first, but I usually face away from the seat and aim my rear ends at the seat. And once that's landed, I pivot the rest of myself in. My husband had Parkinson's, so he had a lot of therapy, and I sat in on it. And I'm pretty aware of a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
among my friends, people have been falling and getting seriously injured. And that's why I value your instruction greatly.
Thanks, Bertha. And I love how much you learned from watching your husband's therapy because it's so true as you observing and seeing how he can do something safely then makes it so that you can work on doing things in a really functional and safe way as well. So that's great. And coming to class is an awesome way to work on balance and strength to try and mitigate the risk of falls because it's true as we get older, there's so many factors, right? There's vision, there's our inner ear, but there's also balance, like and our strength for keeping us from falling. It's very important.
Also, some of my GoGo grandparent drivers have cars that are higher and harder to get into. You know, if it's a sedan, I'm good to go. But if it's another model, I have to be really careful.
Yeah. Do they help you into the car if needed?
Not, I haven't had, maybe I haven't exhibited that much problem to inspire help, but so far I haven't had help with that. They'll help me with the seatbelt.
Okay. But I think I'm not completely sure because I don't know what the whole driver situation is, but I think if you do at any point feel like, ooh, this feels tricky and unsafe, that's the time to just ask. Whether it's a go-go situation or you're with your daughter or friend or whoever, that's usually when the falls happen, when we think about, oh, I guess I can do this by myself. But I'm not sure. Ooh, and then we go for it. That's sometimes a nice time when you're feeling like maybe you just ask for help. It is good though to challenge yourself. It is important to challenge yourself, but if at any point you're feeling like a little bit unsure, it's always better to ask for help.
Well, with ordering a ride, I can talk to a dispatcher and request a sedan.
Oh, great. Great. Oh, that's good to know that you can do that.
I've had most of the drivers ask me if I need help, and I usually say no, but they always come around and help me out of the car. When we were young, the cars were built, the floor was flat all the way out. It didn't have those right sides that came up that you have to lift your feet over that before you can even start to get out. And that's my problem. My feet don't want to raise up. So, but they're very nice. The drivers are very nice.
Yeah, good, good. Anyone else have any questions or comments before we close out today? All right. Well, wonderful to have you. Again, check your email. Look for that so that you can fill out when potentially another time would be good. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll see you for yoga next week or functional fitness the week after that.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a blessed
Bye.
week.
Y'all too. Bye bye.